Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. So in this episode, we actually have some cleanup that we need to do before we move on to our next objective. So we have a couple of things that still need to be done here in Anne Orlando, and then we also have something that needs to be done back in an earlier area of the game that I can't believe I really forgot about. So, first things first, we're going to... Actually, before we head out here, we're going to go into our equipment and get our Black Eye Orb. Now, if you remember, our Firekeeper at Firelink Shrine was killed by Lautrec. And left behind there was this Black Eye Orb, which will allow us to invade Lautrec's world and hopefully kill him. So I'm going to run up these stairs to get away from the sentinel down there, and then I'm going to use the Black Eye Orb. Oh, quit following me, you giant bastards. And in just a moment, there we are, we're going to invade the world of Lautrec. So here we are invading as a blue spirit of vengeance against Lautrec. And as you can see, he's actually got a couple of friends down there. Now what I am going to do is actually take him out with poison from a distance. Once again, this is one of those things that a lot of people will tell you it's cheap, it's cheesing the game. But this is the guy who set up the 3-on-1 fight here, so I'm perfectly okay with just poisoning him and being done with him. You can see his little buddies turn around there like, hey, what just happened? Why are you... What were the arrows flying by there? Now, we could stand here and just wait for him to die. But if I can actually proc bleed on the other two, I might be willing to get in there and fight these guys. Or proc poison on the other two, rather. Like I say, a lot of people would consider this to be cheesing the game, and it is cheesing the AI a little bit because they can't tell where these shots are coming from for whatever reason. Alright. Now that they're all bleeding, or all poisoned, rather, we should be able to take them down a little bit quicker. There's Lautrec talking that garbage. As you can see, he actually dual wields weapons. So, not the easiest opponent to deal with, to be sure. Oh, he just ate that one right in the face. And he's got his sorcerer buddy flinging spells at me. Not a fan of that. Get out of here. Alright, that's two of them down. Now it's me and Lautrec one-on-one, and he is still poisoned, so this shouldn't go too badly. Yes, I am burning through all my fireballs to kill him, because he's a royal pain in the ass to fight. There we are. That's Lautrec dead. Target destroyed. We get a souvenir of reprisal. Now, the souvenir of reprisal is an item that is used exclusively with a particular covenant within the game, the Dark Moon Blades. I haven't actually showed you where to join up with the Dark Moon Blades yet because we actually don't have the item required to do so. Also, I don't intend on actually joining up with them, but I will show you where to do it and how to do it But there you can see we also get the Firekeeper Soul, the Ring of Favor and Protection, and some humanity. Oh, and the giants are still here, and they're still angry. Well, roll off the ledge. And now that we have actually killed... Oh, Jesus. Now that we've actually killed Lautrec, we're going to want to head back up into the Ornstein and Smo boss room, because there will be another item up here that we might want to get our hands on. Now this... So here's the thing. When you first encounter Lautrec, or when he is sitting at Firelink Shrine, you can kill him and you can get his ring, which is really kind of the most important thing out of the bunch. But if you wait until now, you get the ring, you get some humanity, you get Souvenir of Reprisal, so if you're going to be a Dark Moon Blade, that's extremely helpful. And you also get Lautrec's armor. So while we are here, whoops, I'm going to go ahead and swap out one of my rings, I think. And we're going to swap out for the Ring of Favor and Protection. As you can see, it boosts HP, stamina, and carrying load, but it breaks when removed. Now, I like using this ring because of... It's basically a 20%, I think it's a 20% boost to all three of those statistics. It's a really nice boost, especially when you're a little bit lower level, because, 20% can be a pretty substantial amount. But at the same time, it can also be viewed as kind of a crutch, because while it is such a good ring, once you put it on, you can't take it back off without breaking it. So you can get a new one when you go into New Game Plus and so on and so forth. But right now, basically, I've locked out one of my ring slots, so I can only use one other ring, which means when I need to use, say, the Rusted Iron Ring, then it's going to be the Rusted Iron Ring and the Ring of Favor and Protection. There's no other options available. So now what I'm going to do is actually show you guys A, where an item is here, B, where a shortcut is, and C, where to find the Blacksmith in Anor Londo. So first things first, we're going to come up here and we're going to head out this broken window and then just make our way down this stair-stepped ledge around the corner, and we're going to drop down behind this fence. Or we're going to fall off the front of it. Oh, crap. Oh, oh, crap. Okay, well, the giant hasn't seen me yet, so can I possibly get a homeward bone off here? Yes, I can. That was real scary. Okay, so homeward bone back to the bonfire? Homeward bone, back to the bonfire, and then we're going to try this one more time. Because down behind that fence there is actually an item that... It's not something I necessarily need for this character. As a matter of fact, I've never actually used it. But it can still be a useful item, especially if you want to be just kind of a real pain in the ass while invading other players. Because what's actually back there is the Dragon Slayer Great Bow, which is the same bow that the Anor Londo archers use to try and, knock your ass off of that narrow walkway when you're trying to run up through the area and in between them. So we're going to try and get a hold of that, and this will also lead us around to where the blacksmith is, and then I'll show you the actual... When leaving from the blacksmith, you'll see the actual easier way to get to him. So once again, we're going to make our way down the ledge, we're going to make our way around the corner of the building, and then we are going to try and... There we go, okay, good deal. And right here, yes, Dragon Slayer Great Bow and Dragon Slayer Arrow. Now, over here, we're going to slip off of the ledge here. do a plunging attack and actually land on the demon for once. That's the first time that's ever actually worked out. And we have another one of the lightning demons over here. You can also hear a hammer going in the background. Let's just burn this guy down. Ow, that actually hurt, like, a lot. So there, Batwing Demon down. Now, we can head down here and get an item. I believe that is simply a soul consumable. You know what? Let's just go ahead and go get it. Oh. Why do you not fall for the old tricks? And walk off the ledge. Oh, okay. So the second fireball was a waste there, but that's not an issue. Because once we kill this guy, we shouldn't need another one. Yeah, you can have... Oh, boy. Nice. Alright, so I think this is a soul consumable. No, it's a Titanite chunk. Still not terribly useful when we've already upgraded our weapons, but that's fine. Because we may end up wanting to use that a bit later. Now, through here, we'll actually find the blacksmith. Before we talk to the blacksmith, we're just going to roll around in front of him here. Because we want to get the open option for this chest. It's the only way that I know to get at this. But this will give us the hawk ring. Also, we want to be very careful about not attacking the blacksmith, because that will end very badly. Because this blacksmith is specialized. Now, what this guy can do, if we modify equipment, you can see he can make lightning weapons. That's pretty handy. He can also make boss weapons. So as you can see up in the upper right, required souls 5,000, and then Soul of Quelaag would turn our Uchigatana into the Chaos Blade. I'm not a fan of the Chaos Blade, but as you can see, there are several of these that can be made. Now, it won't actually show us what we can make unless we have the item, unless we have the weapon upgraded to make it. So, like, the catalysts can be made into, you know, various higher level ones. And then he can also do the typical, you know, degrading of the weapon as well. Now, this guy also sells... Well, first let's just repair all of our stuff, because why not? This guy also sells a few items that can be useful for weapon upgrades, such as Titanite shards, large Titanite shards, green Titanite shards. He does sell Twinkling Titanite. He also sells the Giant's Halberd, Shield, and Armor set. So those Giant Sentinels, yeah, you can get all of their gear right here for, you know, several thousand souls, several tens of thousands of souls. He also sells Moonlight arrows, Dragon Slayer arrows, standard, large, feather, lightning bolts, standard bolts, and heavy bolts. So, yeah, he's got all, well, not all, but he's got most of your arrow types covered. So, this guy is highly, highly valuable. Now, for the time being, I don't know if there's anything that I really need to be upgrading. Just taking a look here. I mean, I could upgrade my armor, or I could start reinforcing another weapon. I do have a Black Knight sword. That's usually pretty good. What I should probably do, though... Oh, I actually can't. I don't have... Huh, okay. I was actually looking for a curved sword, but I do not have one, so we will have to pick one up at some point later. But yeah, that's where you will find the giant blacksmith. Now, if we head up this stairwell, we're going to see this is actually going to bring us out pretty much right next to the window we dropped out of to, you know, kind of take that roundabout way to him. Because this will bring us up, yeah, right here. Where it's on the opposite side of the hall from where we initially came out. When we came from the original bonfire. Also, one other thing of note down here that I just remembered is that there is a shortcut. And once we get to the shortcut, I will probably just go ahead and use a homeward bone because we are more or less ready to leave Anor Londo at this point. But if we come down here, we'll notice that there is a small human-sized gate right here. And that opens up to the 2 giant sentinels that we ran past a couple of episodes ago to get to the Anor Londo archers. So if for whatever reason we get stuck on that end of the city, and we need to get back up here, which shouldn't happen, but, you know, conceivably it's possible, then that would be our way to get back. Now, we're just going to pop open our inventory here. We're going to use a homeward bone. Yes, homeward bone. This will send us back to the bonfire at the Chamber of the Princess, and then we're going to warp back to Firelink Shrine and kind of finish our little cleanup episode before we move on. We do have one other specific enemy that I need to kill before we head on to the next boss. So we're going to head back to Firelink Shrine, put our Firekeeper soul back in its proper place, and relight the fires at Firelink. Now, if you kill Lautrec before he kills the Firekeeper, then you won't have to go through all of this going to Anor Londo. Well, you have to go to Anor Londo regardless, but you won't have to go through invading him, killing him and his 2 friends, coming back, putting the Firekeeper soul back. However, you will also miss out on some dialogue. Because if you remember before, the Firekeeper couldn't talk. Well, now that her soul has been restored.
Thank you. I am Anastasia of Astora. Now I can continue my duty as a keeper. But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend.
Now our Firekeeper can actually speak. She doesn't like to talk much, but she can actually speak. So now that we have returned to Firelink, let's go ahead and take us a little rest here at the bonfire. We are sitting on 65,000 souls. I need to go and speak with Laurentius again to continue upgrading our Pyromancer's Flame.
Why? Tell me about it.
Ah!
I have never seen anything like it.
So, forgot, we haven't talked to him since we got the Great Chaos Fireball. He's never seen Chaos Fire magic, and he wants to know where we got it. We probably shouldn't tell him, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil why. If we tell him where we got the Great Chaos Fireball, he's going to go looking for it himself, which means we lose our Pyromancy trainer, because he will head down to Blighttown, go hollow, and the next time we're in Blighttown, we're probably going to have to kill him, so I'm not telling him where we got this.
I see. I suppose I was mistaken. In any case, I definitely trust you. Apologies, my friend. Forget that I said anything.
And now we're all good, because luckily Laurentius is the nicest guy on the planet. So, I don't need to purchase items. What I do need to do is modify my Pyromancer's Flame a little bit higher here. And we actually want to go... Oh, how high can I get this? Plus 12. That's not bad.
Goodbye then.
That also sucked up a lot of our souls. As I said before, it takes a lot of souls to get that upgraded, but once you do, it can really, really be worth it, especially if you focus heavily on using those abilities. So now, you may notice, we are heading back up towards the Undead Burg. And this should... Oh, wow, I just flubbed my attack. This should conceivably be our last time through the Undead Burg. Thankfully, because these guys pose little to no challenge at this point. Not to say they're not still fully capable of killing me, because, well, they are. Oh, okay, there we are. But they just don't really pose much of a threat. And the reason we're heading back up here is we want to head back to the area where we fought the Taurus demon. Because there is an enemy there. He's been waiting for us for a long, long time. And I'm now comfortable with going after him. You can go after him assuming you have the master key. You can go after him as soon as you get there. I personally chose not to, simply because I got a couple firebombs. Simply because I have had trouble with him in the past. I know his patterns. I know I know kind of the easiest ways to take him out. But you know, he can still offer a lot of resistance because he is just a tough enemy. So now, if you remember the last time we were up here, I was taking it very slow going through and drawing these guys back and picking them off one at a time. I'm going a little faster through here because basically, not only am I more confident in my skill, but there's also the fact that I am more confident in the power of our weapons and, to some degree, our armor. Although we are still very, very lightly armored. And I haven't upgraded any of the armor. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't be saying I feel better about our armor now that I actually start thinking about it. But that's quite alright. So we're just going to make our way towards where we fought the Taurus demon. Okay, come on, fellas. Let's just kill both of you. And you can do that, and then I'm just going to cut your head off. Thank you very much, and let's move on. I'm not too worried about enemies following me. Oh boy. Alright. Run on through here. Now we're going to take a little bit of a shortcut. Oh boy. Alright. Huh. I have a train of enemies. Come on, fuckers. Let's do this shit. That took out a good number of them. Now for you. Alright, next up. Oh, it's the spearman. Whoa. Oh. You bastard. Throwing firebombs at me. What's wrong with you? Alright. So that pretty much clears the area in one fell swoop. Now, we never did kill the Black Knight. I could not remember. Alright. Well, now we should be better equipped to deal with this gentleman. So I'm just going to walk up here real slow and... Ah, balls, he turned around. Alright, take your swing. Take your swing. Take your swing so I can parry you. There we are. There, we get a Titanite chunk, and now we'll be able to retrieve the ring, blue tearstone ring, that we were looking for earlier down here. So, blue tearstone ring, and I don't want to spend too much time in the menu here. He says as he fumbles around with the menu's controls. The blue tearstone ring boosts defense while HP is low. Pretty helpful. Not something I'm really interested in at this point. Also, I'm wearing the wolf ring, aren't I? A little bit of extra poise never hurt, I suppose. Especially when you are so lightly armored. Now we're going to head back up here. Whoop, don't run off the ledge. We're going to heal up real quick. Grab... Oh, he dropped a shard. And now, we're going to head down to the bottom of this tower. Now, if you remember, when we were in Anor Londo, we picked up an armor set, along with a weapon and a shield. Not the Silver Knight gear, but Havel's gear. Havel the Rock. He was a bishop. He was far as I know, friend of Lord Gwyn, if you remember the original cinematic. And Havel is now locked in the bottom of this tower. And we are going to go and give him a visit. And this guy is not to be trifled with or taken lightly. So I like to bait him up the stairs, just give myself some space, then lock on, withdraw him out into the room. Now, since I'm lightly armored, I can circle around him. Ugh. And hopefully get in a nice backstab. Because otherwise, he will tear you apart pretty quickly with that dragon tooth. You see right there, he almost broke through my shield. Oh, jeez. And you see that's almost half my health gone at, what, level 44, I believe I am? Oh. There we are. There's a backstab. That should almost take care of him. Let's just back off and hit him with a fireball. Cook him inside his armor. And that is Havel taken care of. And this will give us Havel's Ring. Now, Havel's Ring... I keep using the wrong button for menus today. Havel's Ring... pretty useful. Especially if you're wearing a lot of heavy armor, because it boosts your maximum equipment load. I'm not going to be equipping it right now, but I will be using it later on. So now, pretty much all we have left to do, before we head on to our next boss, is get back to the bonfire, and I once again am going to use a homeward bone to cut down on travel times, so you guys aren't watching me walk all the way back to the Undead Burg bonfire, and then warp from there, so on and so forth, yada yada yada. So, from here, once we arrive back at the Undead Burg bonfire, we're going to warp to the Undead Parish bonfire. And while we are warping, I will go ahead and say that I have been your host, Jeffrey Lazarus, and thank you for watching.